With thousands of products to pick from, this is the absolute very first mod you should make for your Ford Explorer. Our Steeda adjustable rear sway bar, and we're gonna show you why. All right, so we're in the Explorer ST. We're gonna do our slalom testing before and after with the Steeda rear sway bar. Now currently the 2025 Explorer ST we have sits on our Steeda Sport lowering springs. So we've set up 5 cones here in the slalom, walked out 30 big steps, and we're gonna come through it. Frank's down the other end. We're gonna show you the body roll. This is the stock setup with the stock sway bar and our Steeda lowering springs, and we'll see what the difference is. I'm not sure how fast we're gonna be going because, well, I'm a drag racer. I'm not used to turning, especially something that's 5,000 pounds. But he said he wanted to try and go 35. I think that's impossible. So we'll start off the first one probably about 25, 30 and go from there. So I just pray I don't hit the cone. Oh my goodness. If I hit a cone on Dario's baby, oh boy, it's not gonna be good. All right, 25, here we go. We're locked in. I think this is too fast. Oh no, 25 is not bad. Okay, that wasn't that bad. Now I think 35 would be a little hairy, but we'll bump it up a little bit. All right, we're at 30, exactly at 30. We slowed to about 27 at the end. So as you can see, there's quite a bit of body roll, even with the Steeda lowering springs. Now, that's common. Typically, you're going to get lowering springs because you want a better aesthetics. You want the vehicle to look better, whether it's a Mustang, a Fusion, Explorer. But if you really want to control body roll, you're gonna maximize that by adding larger sway bars. And the beauty of that is it doesn't change the ride. So we're gonna try this again here. Oh, we're at 35. This is a little much. We'll see. But yeah, so like I was saying, the beauty about sway bars is it really doesn't affect the way your vehicle rides. It's still gonna ride very well, but as soon as you go to pitch it and lean it and throw it in a corner, it makes a remarkable difference in how flat the vehicle feels. So that was stock with the factory sway bars, but our Steeda lowering springs, like I said, they're more for aesthetics. We don't go crazy with the spring rates because, well, we wanted to provide a very nice and comfortable ride. So that's why lowering springs are mostly aesthetics. They are gonna be about 10 to 20% firmer than stock, but this is a Ford Explorer. We don't want to kill the ride. We want it to be a really nice, high quality ride. So to control body roll, that's when we're going to lean on the sway bars to do their job. And we're going to go bolt on the rear bar and come out and do this again. Here are the tools required. You can do this install on the ground, but it may be easier for you to remove the rear wheels. With a T40 bit and an 18mm wrench, loosen the end link nut. If you're reusing the factory end links, disconnect them at the sway bar. The exhaust heat shield will need to be removed to access the sway bar brackets. There are 2 7mm bolts securing the shield to the fender well and the bumper. You should now be able to maneuver the heat shield out from underneath. If you aren't able to get the heat shield out, you may need to lower the rear muffler. Do this by removing the 13mm bolt above the hanger. It's hooked into the body so you can fully remove the bolt. Then pick up the hanger and lower the muffler down. Now you can pull out that heat shield. The 15mm bolts holding the sway bar bracket can now be removed. Do this on both sides. Then remove the end link from either the lower control arm or the sway bar, depending on if you're changing the end links. You can see here how we managed to get the sway bar out without removing the exhaust system. Grab the new sway bar bushings and grease only the inside of them. Spread it evenly, but we recommend using a glove as this is sticky grease and it's very hard to get off your hands. You're going to use about half the packet for each bushing. Install the sway bar bushing so it's on the outside of both sway bar stops. Make sure you have the brackets nearby, and go ahead and get the Steeda sway bar in place in the reverse order of how you removed the factory bar. Use the new hardware to secure the bracket onto the vehicle. The washer will go between the bracket and the bolt. Tighten all 4 bolts down. We'll torque them down a little bit later. If you aren't installing the end links, get the factory end link connected to the new Steeda sway bar. If you are installing new end links, measure and make sure the lengths between the 2 studs matches the factory end link. Get them into place in the lower control arm and the hole of your choice in the sway bar. Keep in mind, the hole furthest forward is going to be the softest setting. We always suggest starting in the middle hole, that way if you want something firmer or softer, you know which direction to go in. Go ahead and get the nuts on by hand for the end links. Then you need an 8mm socket and an 18mm wrench to tighten everything down. Using a 3/4 inch wrench, tighten down the jam nuts on the end link itself. Remember, you want to tighten the jam nuts against the blue anodized collar. Now go back and torque the sway bar bracket bolts to 66 foot-pounds. Both the factory end links and the Steeda end links need to be torqued to 76 foot-pounds. Now you can get your heat shields reinstalled. After that, your installation is complete. As you can see, pretty simple install. Now we use a solid 1-inch bar. Now why not tubular? Well, we're already dealing with a 5,000 pound vehicle. Now, in a perfect world, we'd go 1 3/8, put a wall on it, but there isn't a whole lot of room, especially with the springs and some of the wheels. So solid 1 inch, then we weld on a stamping that is bent, that has the 3 holes. Now this is steel, it's gonna be super durable. It's powder coat right here, would give you brand new steel brackets that are zinc plated, flange head bolts and oversized washers. But it's really a key ingredient to improving the overall feel of your vehicle. Like I was explaining, it doesn't change the ride. You're still gonna go over bumps and speed bumps about the same. But when you throw it into a corner, it's gonna be much flatter. It's why a rear bar is our go-to for Mustang, Fusion, Focus, Explorer, even the Mach-E and F-150. We've got a rear sway bar for all of your Ford vehicles. One of the things often overlooked with rear sway bars, and it's one of the reasons why we went with an adjustable bar for the F-150, it's towing. So when you're towing a vehicle, you can get a lot of unwanted sway from the back, depending on where your weight's loaded and things like that. With an adjustable rear bar, it really helps stabilize the vehicle, so with any side-to-side shifting, it's gonna allow you to tow with much more confidence. In fact, when we were designing the bar for the Explorer, we loaded up the old 18 Silver Bullet, threw it on the trailer, and went out there and actually tried to hit some turns with it, because we wanted to come up with a bar that not only had good street manners, but when you're towing, let's say you're going to the lake for the weekend with the family, got your boat on the back. A rear sway bar is going to allow you to tow with much more confidence, give you a stable ride, and help protect not only your vehicle, but everybody inside your vehicle. We also add our Steeda adjustable rear end links. Now why this is good, it's depending on what you're doing with your Explorer. If it's lowered a bunch, let's say you're running a set of H&R springs or iBox that drop the vehicle down lower than our Steeda Sport springs, you're going to want to change the length of this to make sure you still have good travel. Adjustable jam nuts, greasable end links, it's really a very sweet kit. Plus you want to try and keep this as parallel to the ground as possible when you install it for the best suspension compliance and to make sure there's no binding and any artificial spring rates in there. So adjustable end links are on. We got on the softest setting. You saw how easy it was to install. Let's go check out the difference. Okay, so we've been looking at the video from basically before the Steeda Swaybar install in the Explorer and then after. The best way I could describe it is how much faster we were able to go through the cones. We started off 20 to 25 miles an hour and it felt a little sketchy. By the end, we're doing 35. So here you'll see we put the stock Swaybar and the Steeda Swaybar right over one another. And you can see as it's going through, you're getting a little less body roll. But the thing is, you got to remember, we're going much faster. If we were to do the test in all of them at 25 miles an hour, you're going to see a lot less body roll. But the fact that we were able to start at 25 and then end up going through about 35, well, higher speed, it's going to induce more body roll. But the key differences here is how much more confidence you have being able to slalom through the cones with the Steeda rear Swaybar. It simply doesn't get any better. You got an OEM style ride, but when you're throwing it around, it's going to handle a lot nicer and, like I said, give you a lot more confidence. And so yeah, you see that we're crossing and finishing much sooner after than with the stock setup. Here you'll see the GoPro angle weaving in and out of the cones. Now this is something that we're going to see with all of our Steeda rear Swaybars, whether it's for the Mustang, the Fusion, the Explorer, shoot, even the F-150. When you're able to reduce the body roll and give that confidence to the driver, you know, let's face it, you're not probably going out on a slalom with your F-150. But if you're rolling down the road, somebody pulls out, you got to yank at the wheel. These are all things that's going to give you a lot more confidence as a driver and, quite frankly, give you a much more enjoyable ride and feel in your vehicle. Now this is showing you before and after with the Steeda adjustable rear Swaybar. Now we do make a front Swaybar as well for the Explorer. It's going to give you more of a neutral feel back in to the Explorer and it's going to help reduce body roll, but the rear Swaybar is where I always recommend people starting at. It's a lot easier to install and, in our opinion, it makes the biggest difference. Don't forget, you can find this rear Swaybar and a ton of other parts for your Ford Explorer at Steeda.com. So make sure you hit like, subscribe, follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and remember, Steeda, where speed matters.